And ladies and gentlemen, we want you to stand and we want you to make some noise.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's go racing here at Knoxville.
Only the best go 3 abreast. It is show time at Williams Grove Speedway.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, here at Eldora Speedway, it's showtime!
You got them 4 abreast. Often imitated, never duplicated. The greatest show on dirt, the world of outlaws.
It's time to sit back, relax, and enjoy, because, ladies and gentlemen, it's showtime!
Set to do battle for 30 laps. The green flag is waving.
Nation presented by Hercules Tires. Ride on our strength. Talking sprint car racing, our favorite time of the week. And we are so glad that you have joined us. Erin, Evernham, and Steve Post zooming our way through 2020. Erin, how are you?
I'm doing well. Lots of racing to watch this past weekend, so life is good. How about you?
Boy, yeah, same thing. Lots and lots of racing. Really, really fun stuff. I actually went to a little dirt track down in Lawrence, South Carolina, so I got a little dirt in my soda pop, not dirt in my beer. It was a long day with the Atlanta truck race, but so I didn't have any beers there, but I had some dirt in my soda, and so it was good being out at the racetrack, good seeing a dirt track, and I'm with you. Slowly but surely, we're stepping our way back to normal. Maybe not normal for fans who get to go to races, but for those of us who spend most of our time following on pay-per-view, it's getting back to normal for us.
It really is, and some of the racing this past weekend was spectacular. I mean,
my gosh. Well, let's get into some of that. Yeah. It's a Classic King Screen Printing and Embroidery Hot Topics. I want to talk a little bit about the sense of normalcy, then we'll talk about some spectacular racing, okay? The normalcy is Friday night Attica, Saturday night Knoxville. Man, I'm telling you what, that is good. I know Attica had no fans. Knoxville had social distancing, but a fair amount of fans there. But when Attica's running on Friday night and Knoxville's running on Saturday night, things are starting to get back to normal.
They are. And then you had the All-Stars running, the Outlaws. I know we're going to talk about it, but there was a lot of racing to be watched this weekend.
Yes, there was. So good to have all that normalcy. Okay. The All-Stars, what they are giving us with their thundering tour through the Cometic Gaskets, Thunder Through the Plains, presented by Hercules Tires or whatever it is, something like that. Okay. The racing has been phenomenal. Did you see that Friday night race with those 4 or 5 drivers go at each other?
Yes, it was. I mean, it wasn't even a 2-car battle. It was 4 cars, and there were sliders, and it was awesome. That race was fantastic.
And what I loved about it is you had 2 stalwart all-star guys, Corey Eliason and Aaron Reitzel. You had interloper Kyle Larson, and you had Danny Dietrich, who posse, maybe not today. I'll let you know tomorrow where I'm going. Last night, I mean, and you had all 4 of them. And at any moment in that race, I mean, there was less than 2 laps to go, and I said, Dietrich's going to win this thing.
Yeah.
Because the way he got that run that one time off from turn number 2, I thought, holy God, he found something down there. End up Reitzel getting the win, but what a thriller that was. That was a fun race.
Yeah, it was. And what a great racetrack and surface. I mean, to watch them just going so slow around those tires in the infield, and whoever was running the top was like, giving it their all. It was such a neat race. Yeah,
it really was. So good stuff for the All-Stars. They continue on with their tour through the plains, and they've given us the races every night. And oh gosh, so again, a little sense of normalcy. Here we are in June, and the All-Stars. I know it's not Ohio Speed Week, but it is a Speed Week per se, and we're getting All-Star racing across the board. World of Outlaws at Beaver Dam, man, that's a great racetrack, and they didn't disappoint. And boy, I am telling you, Brad Sweet is a whole handful for everybody right now.
He sure is. When Donnie Schatz is talking about him after the race, like, how impressive Brad is and how he's on top of his game, if Schatz is saying that about someone else, it's saying something.
And I think the thing of it is, with Brad, you look at it, it's a complete package. That the car is detailed to the nth degree, which many of those cars on the World of Outlaw Tour are. But they're doing it, okay? They're giving him the setup. And I just like the last 2 years, it was leading into Knoxville last year, Brad's mind Brad's dedication, Brad's determination, Brad's commitment, Brad's study of his art, his craft, his skill, his study of that. I think we had him on and he talked about the skill it took to run the bottom of Knoxville, and he's applying that to every place they go, which is what Donnie Schatz has been doing the last 8 or 10 years, and Brad has really found a rhythm here. As a driver, he is just really, really on top of his game.
He really is, and like you said, when we've talked to him in the past, he talks about his craft, but he talks about times he makes mistakes, and for us, we don't see those because he's been running so well. But he's one of those drivers that everyone wants to improve every week, but you can tell what Brad's put into it to get where he is.
You really can, and it's going to be fun, and I'll be anxious to see how he does at Knoxville this weekend because he struggled there the last time. So if I'm taking any money to Vegas, it's on Brad Sweet because he'll figure it out and be pretty solid, that's for sure. Great to have a lot of racing in Pennsylvania as well. Selinsgrove, now I know it's a 360 show, but 67 sprint cars in the pits there. That is cool.
Yeah.
Lincoln, okay, Dylan Cisney could throw a stone and hit Port Royal. Port's not open. They open up this weekend. Dylan is the first who had Dylan Cisney as the first two-time winner at Lincoln? Anybody? Who had him winning at Lincoln, and he's the first two-time winner. Really good stuff for Dylan. And this is only going to help his game when he gets back to Port Royal and gets back to track where he has a lot of seat time. I'm anxious to see how Dylan Cisney does because, Erin, we've talked about it. Racing and then winning are two very key things to having success.
Absolutely. And like you said, no one would have predicted him winning 2 at Lincoln this year, but that confidence, not just what they've done to the car, but as a driver, when you get used to winning, you expect winning. That's
exactly right. Expect winning, that's for sure. And that is what Lance Dewease does. And he won the Greg Hodnett Memorial. We're going to memorial at BAPS. Okay, we're going to talk to Stuart Brubaker, who won at Attica, and we're going to talk to Lance Dewease coming up on the show. It is going to be awesome as well, and we're expecting to win with a great show here for sure. And if you are in need for apparel or embroidery or anything like that, you can win as well with Classic Ink Screen Printing and Embroidery, our friends and partners with the Classic Ink Hot Topics, offering full custom driver apparel and crew wear options, full service embroidery department specializing in headwear and outerwear. They have an experienced design team and they have a dedicated sales department.
Yeah, and it's not just for racing. Local businesses, school districts, sport teams, you name it, they all use Classic Ink. Some drivers like Sheldon Hodenshield, Donnie Schatz, Danny Dietrich, David Stremme with Lethal Chassis, Tony Stewart and Brian Brown. The list goes on of drivers that use Classic Ink USA.com for all their apparel needs.
Yes, indeed. Great stuff. And we talked about some of the great racing. Let's take a listen to some of it here. It is from Beaver Dam, the world of outlaw NOS energy drink sprint cars. It's Johnny Gibson with the call on Dirt Vision. It's Brad Sweet. It's Sheldon Hodenshield mixing it up for the win. It's our Dryden Diesel all death-defying move of the week.
And now for the Dryden death-defying move of the week, where one driver simply amazes us with their on-track moves.
The big cat up high, Sheldon Hodenshield down low, slower car down low, Jason Sides, and that allows Brad Sweet to claim the race lead. Sweet leads lap 27. Sheldon back to the inside, Sheldon back to the point down the back straightaway. 2 laps to go. Brad Sweet led the last time across the line. He's right there now into 1 and 2. Sweet to the outside, again looking for the lead. Again, Sheldon fends off the challenge. Into 3 and 4, they'll race to the white flag in heavy traffic, and Brad Sweet leads at the white flag.
That death-defying move was brought to you by Dryden Diesel All Death, the official death of the world of outlaws and wheelmen everywhere. Visit Dryden.com for more information.
We are Team Dryden.
Power isn't born, it's built over time. For over 65 years, Hercules Tires has been providing the muscle to move more drivers. Whatever the vehicle, whatever the terrain, And we back it with a powerful protection plan. So wherever the road or the trail takes you, we have the selection, value, and strength to get you there. Hercules Tires. Ride on our strength.
Welcome back. It is Wing Nation, presented by Hercules Tires. Ride on our strength. You know, Erin, HRP Wings, the original recessed rivet wing manufacturers in the sport, they use wind tunnel and track performance testing to outpace the industry designs with their design work, their innovation, and their functionality. Not only for sprint cars, but lightning sprints, micro sprints, junior sprints, and they are also shipped across the world and can be economically ground shipped to your door.
Yep, and it's easy to shop the entire line of Hefner Racing products online at hrpracing.com from your desktop or right on your phone. First-time online orders, you can use the promo code MRN at checkout for 10% off the first order.
All right, let's get right to it. The Zoom line is where we're going, and joining us from the state of Pennsylvania, fresh off from a trip to Victory Lane at BAPS Motor Speedway in the Greg Hodnett Memorial Race, Lance Dewease. Hello, Lance. Welcome into Wing Nation.
Well, thanks for having me. Looking forward to being on again.
Well, I'll tell you what, we usually chat with you after wins, and the racing this year has been weird in that we're doing it, we're not doing it, we don't know when we're doing it, but it's got to be good to get back to Victory Lane at BAPS on Sunday night.
Yeah, it sure was. It's just good to be back racing again. It's kind of messed up because you really don't know, what we're going to do next. Right now we have some clarity on what we're tentatively doing as far as racing here in Pennsylvania, but you never know. It could all change tomorrow, and it's kind of messed up with how everything is right now.
Lance, as frustrating as that is, obviously, last night went very well. You mentioned in Victory Lane, and I just love this about you. You said the car was okay. We've got some work to do. You won by 5 seconds. Are you ever really satisfied with a car, truly? Every time we have you on, you have these spectacular wins, and you always want more.
Well, I mean, that's kind of what keeps us going. We know that, if we're good or not. You know what I mean? And do I think I could start 10th and won that race? Probably not. It's easy to sit here and say today I don't think that, but you don't know. But that's what keeps driving us. I've always been that way. I can run second and go, wow, I had a great race car. You can run fifth and have a great race car, and you can win and not have a great race car. So, we were pretty good. I didn't like how we were late in the race. We got some issues there. We had and just it slowed up and lapped cars too much. I couldn't get by them as easily as I like to. So we got some work, but that's only our fifth race of the year or so. And we've been all these different tracks and not getting no consistency as far as racing back-to-back nights and be able to work on the race cars.
Lance is the guy that's never sat in a race car in his life, okay? I'm trying to – you talk about the struggles late getting around the lap traffic is something that you guys have pinpointed. Is that something you feel in the race car? Do you watch the video to back that up? How do you know that? And again, like I said, because I have no idea what that even means as a guy that's never done it before.
Well, Erin would understand what I'm getting ready to say is I felt like I slowed up to the laps car's pace. Okay. I couldn't run my pace. I slowed down because of, the dirty air from them. And I felt like I was running their pace instead of being able to run where I wanted to run. And at one point, from my understanding, after the fact that they knocked 2 seconds off my lead at one point because of lap cars. So you know that as a racer, if you follow a lap car too much, you're slowing down a little bit, and you just don't know where everybody's coming or what they're doing. So it's always an area that you want to keep your pace and not run the lap car's pace.
Lance, you said before the feature that you guys changed everything. And I question that, like, as a driver and a racer, you ran so many races in Pennsylvania. You think at some point you've got like a base solid setup. What is it about sprint car racing or not having raced that much this year that you're almost throwing things at it?
Well, there's numerous things, Erin. The tires seem like they're always a little different from year to year. Track surfaces always changing from year to year. It's been, not quite. It's probably been 10 months since I've been to Susquehanna or BAPS Speedway as it's called now. So yeah, just little things like that. And the surface was a little tricky. Heat races, you had to be on the bottom. It was real dirty, not holding up to anything up high. And then it kind of flipped. You could run the top in the feature in 1 and 2. The 3 and 4 you kind of ran wherever you wanted to. But yeah, it just changed. And the good thing about our team is we kind of know if we're good or not, and we don't sugarcoat it, and try to BS anybody, when we're not. So we know where we're heading, where we want to go, and how good we want to be. It's just a matter if we can get there.
I'm trying to put my arms around what I'm even trying to ask. The racing in Pennsylvania, we understand it's a mess up there, and we understand that the politicians have you're not, you're doing this, you're not going to have fans, you are going to have fans. It's a mess everywhere as far as that goes. When you have gotten to race, catching up with folks in the pit area, seeing some fans at the racetrack, how has it been? Is the enthusiasm, is that level still there in Pennsylvania?
Oh, I think so. I think it's probably, I think a lot more people are happy to be at the racetrack.
Yeah.
It's June. Normally by this time, most people are burned out already here in Pennsylvania, because we race so much. So, for us, it's June. I've had 5 races in. Now, the flip side of that is, we didn't have a single race schedule in June for us this year, except for Speed Week starting in 2 weeks. So now our schedule changed. We'll be racing twice next weekend and some added shows that people added. So, I think it's just weird because nobody really knows, like, what we're doing next. Like, where are we racing next until, like, it seems like week by week. You can't – there's really no planning right now. And that's just kind of a little weird compared to what everybody used to. I'm grateful our racetracks are taking a stand, a chance, whatever you want to call it, in racing. And let people get out of their homes and enjoy themselves and live your life instead of trying to be controlled on what you can do and can't do.
No doubt.
Absolutely. And for us, I'm sure as a driver it's frustrating, but at least we're seeing some racing. At least we're getting there one step at a time. Lance, this was an emotional win. You and Greg were good friends. You talked about it in Victory Lane, how you were great competitors, but you guys were really close off track. I kind of look at you guys as well, growing up and racing, you were some of my heroes, but I love you. Both of you have that engineering mind and you're always, analyzing every part of it. Just talk a little bit about Greg and how much winning his memorial race means.
Well, it meant a great deal to me, just because, as competitors, you normally don't have, where you get along. I don't know the easiest way to word it, but where you can kind of have problems one night with each other and then next night forget about it. And that's kind of how Greg was. He was pretty low key, mild manner, a lot like me. We didn't carry stuff over to the next race. And most of the time it was just racing. And we could show up the next night and talk about other things besides racing. And it just kind of went by the wayside. And, he was always like that with everybody. I mean, he was a gracious person to everybody. And, I think that's why he was so well liked and so well respected. And the Grove National I won after his passing meant a lot to me, for me, his family, the whole Pennsylvania area. And this is actually the first quote race in his honor that I won. So it's neat. It's going to be a special place for that trophy. And it's just great to honor his memory. And we got some things we're going to do for the foundation for the auction during our Speed Week. So it's just going to be a good deal. And, he was a great person. And that's what everybody just needs to kind of keep remembering. Forget about the racing. He was just a great person to be around. And you could have fun with him. And didn't take stuff too seriously when you were joking. So it was always great to be around him.
You're part of one of our behind the scenes stories. Erin and I go to the racetrack all the time, and I'm about as dumb as a box of rocks, okay? Erin is an engineer, okay? So we were in a rain delay at Williams Grove, And I walked up in, I think it was Greg's hauler, and you and he were up there talking shocks and wings and wing angles and six tire. Well, you guys weren't talking six tires. You could have, but I would have been, You guys were talking about it. And I'm texting Erin, and I'm saying, you ain't going to believe the conversation I'm part of. 2 engineers talking racing. Erin wanted to be the 3rd engineer in that conversation. And she says, what are they saying? I said, I have no idea. I mean, you guys really, and the beauty of it is I think you guys knew your secrets were safe with me because I didn't know what you were talking about and couldn't clear it. But you guys really had a relationship where from the technical end of it, you could bounce a lot off from each other and learn from each other, whether it's shocks or other parts of the race car.
Well, I did their shocks for a number of years. So I was around them a good bit. Even as a competitor, I still was around them a good bit. And, we always threw ideas off each other and, we could talk about things. That's what I mean. It was just kind of a different relationship because you don't have that with other drivers. And we always could just talk about stuff in the open. And because, as Erin would tell you, what works for me might not work for Erin or Greg or whoever. It's a whole different circumstances. And it's all about putting everything together for that moment, based off track conditions and all. Carl Kinsler said it best. You race the racetrack, and if you beat the racetrack, you beat probably 95% of your competitors. So that's how I know Davey kind of looks at it. He worries about our race car and the racetrack and really don't worry about what other people are doing.
Yeah, I was just going to ask you about Davey. He just celebrated, his 86th birthday, was it?
Yes.
How neat is it to still work with him, have the success, and see him still enjoying the wins?
It's great, and I think he needs this more than anything racing right now. It's so funny because I think, with everything that's going on, we all know the hardest hit is elderly people. In the state of Pennsylvania, over the age of 65 has been pretty hard hit. And the other week, Donald, I forget where we were supposed to race. I don't think we ended up racing, but he called Davey and asked him if he wanted to go race, and Davey was more excited about it than anybody else. So I'm sure he was tired of sitting around his house and not doing nothing. And it's just neat to see him at that age, just enjoying his life still and doing what he loves to do. And it's just funny because he just really does enjoy it still, and that's just blows me away at times.
It's
awesome. It's amazing. It really is. His passion, his heart, his spirit for it is absolutely amazing. And you do pretty good yourself. Donald does pretty good as the team owner, Lance. We appreciate the time. Congratulations. Where are you going this weekend? Do you have this weekend planned out, or is it still too early to tell?
Well, we'll be at Port Royal. They have 2 nights of racing, Saturday night and Sunday night. We'll be at both those shows this weekend. And then I think the following weekend, the Grove tentatively might be opening up. Okay. I'm not sure yet. And we'll be there on that Friday show if they open up. And then we got our speed weeks. I don't know what's coming up with that. That's 2 weeks away. So, so far, a good many of our racetracks are racing. So we'll see if we get our speed weekend. That's going to be a little different because, just like the fans, can they plan for it? Are they planning for it? I mean, it's just a little weird right now how the racing is, but the fans are supporting all the racetracks. Knoxville had a really good crowd last Saturday night, and I mean, they're supporting all the racetracks. So it'll be interesting to see next weekend. Port Royal's been really good with their stuff. So to me, it's going to be interesting to see what kind of crowds they have for those 2 days. And, hopefully, we have great weather for all the races and it's fun.
Yeah, for sure. Should be fun. Lance, as always, we appreciate the conversation. Thanks for joining us here today.
Well, thanks for having me. You guys have a great day and look forward to talking to you again.
There we go. Lance Dewease joining us here on Wing Nation. When we return, another race winner. He won at Attica, Stuart Brubaker. He joins us next.
Hey, Ashley, what are you up to?
Oh, I just stopped by to grab some sage fruit apples. Now I just have to decide which ones.
You can never go wrong with a Honeycrisp. They're light, crisp, and full of perfectly balanced flavor.
Oh, hey.
You could always go with one of their classics, the Gala or Fuji. They're both sweet and juicy.
Grown in the heart of Eastern Washington, Sage Fruit Company works hard on the farm and with their retail partners to provide high-quality apples and pears to consumers all year long.
Well, I couldn't decide which ones. Thanks for the help, guys.
I'll race you to checkout.
Power isn't born. It's built over time. For over 65 years, Hercules Tires has been providing the muscle to move more drivers. Whatever the vehicle, whatever the terrain, And we back it with a powerful protection plan. So wherever the road or the trail takes you, we have the selection, value, and strength to get you there. Hercules Tires. Ride on our strength.
Welcome back. It is Wing Nation, presented by Hercules Tires. Ride on our strength. The world is right when we find out that they're racing Friday nights at Attica. And I've made no bones about it. That is one of my favorite places on the planet. I don't get there that often, and I just am so happy they raced. They did not have fans, but I know our guest here has got to be happy they raced as well, because he parked it on the front stretch, took the big check in the trophy home. Stuart Brubaker joins us. Hello, Stuart.
Hello.
Hey, congratulations on that win Friday night at Attica. We chatted before we went on the air. Attica is open. You won the race. You slept in your own bed. That's a pretty good Friday night.
Yeah, you can't beat that at all. Finally get some racing going here in Ohio.
Stuart, looked like you had a fantastic night. You started on the front row, but lap traffic looked difficult. To talk about, how difficult that is to navigate, but the surface seemed great. There was a bunch of lanes to race.
Yeah, we had some rain early, so that makes everyone fast and it makes it hard to pass. So we got into some lap traffic, and there were some guys you could run about anywhere, and it seemed like they were running where I wanted to run. And Caleb got by me, and I was like, "Oh man, we better sit back up in the seat here." So we drove back past them and finished that way.
Yeah, I guess so. That is neat. Now, you had traveled a little bit and ran, so you weren't knocking the rust off totally, but was there getting acclimated, getting back opening night at Attica? Was there just making sure you were comfortable with the newness of it? Was there a little bit of that?
Yeah, there was, because they put new dirt on, okay. And then we had that rain, so it was real wet and heavy early. Actually, I come in from qualifying, I was mad. I was like, this thing is no good. And it got us on the front row of the heat, and then we got lucky and drew good for the feature. Well, I guess it worked out. So, but yeah, a couple of weeks before that, we decided there's no racing around here, so we went to Peevely with the Outlaws and to knock the rust off.
So we talked to some other drivers who have gone out, from Pennsylvania or wherever, raced a little bit with the Outlaws. It seems like not only do you get that seat time, you knock the rust off, but there's something about racing with the Outlaws that makes you step up your game a little bit. So when you go back home, it seems to help. Is that accurate?
Yes, that is true. We went out there and got our butts whipped on for sure. But we learned a lot in 2 days. We come back, and I think we were 14th quick overall on Saturday night of our portion. And so you learn really quick out there. And it's real easy to miss a show with them guys. But we come home, we was able to take what we learned out there and come home, and we were pretty good.
That is good to hear. That really is. And we hear that across the board when drivers do it. So, and as we're doing this, we're recording this on Monday. Okay. So, right now we don't know if Attica's running. What do you sense the next couple of weeks look like? I don't think any of us know definitively, but what's your sense as to where you guys are at in the state of Ohio with it all?
It's starting to break free a little bit more. I heard that like Cedar Point and them places are going to start opening, I think, the middle of next week. But there's really strict guidelines from what I hear. So I'm hoping within the next couple of weeks we can start getting fans in the stands. I heard Wayne County is running Saturday, 3,000 to win, 410 race with fans in the stands.
Oh, wow.
So hopefully slowly we can start opening things up here.
Stuart, we've talked to a number of drivers during this whole pandemic, and I know we talked to you last year. You're an independent team. You own your own stuff. Has it been difficult for you, or is it almost, if you're not racing, you're not spending money? How has that been for you?
Actually, it kind of worked out okay for me this year because I farm also. So I was able to farm and get all the farming done at home and not have to worry about who was doing what in the shop and need to leave for somebody to replace me in the tractor. So it worked out pretty good. I wasn't too worked up about it. And then we got everything done. I'm like, then I started chomping at the bit. So then we went out, decided to travel to Missouri for a little while, but it's not too bad.
What type of farming do you do?
Just corn, beans, and wheat.
Nice. That's good. Hey, got the crops all in, and now it's race season. That is neat. And
I can't beat that.
No, it kind of worked out well, that's for sure. Well, Stuart, I'll tell you, it was great to see Attica back racing. Great to see you pick the win, your 8th career win there at the racetrack. And wherever this all goes, whenever you get the race again, we wish you the best. But thanks for joining us here on Wing Nation.
No, thank you. Hopefully I get to join back up some more this year.
Let's hope so. We'll keep our fingers crossed. Thanks again, man.
Yep, thank you.
All right, great to catch up with Stuart Brubaker. Erin, did you see Dean Jacobs' wreck?
I did. I just today was going through Attica's posts and saw the video.
That old guy, he needs to take better care of himself.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a flip that would hurt a youngster.
Yeah.
And Dean's not a youngster. I mean, no, not at all. Wow, that was crazy. Really, really crazy stuff, that's for sure. Hey, our friends at Plan B Sales, they're on a bit of a roll, okay? They've been on Kyle Larson's car. Kyle, of course, won Sunday night on the tour. They also were on Noah Gregson's Xfinity car, and for the first time in NASCAR, they picked up a win. So they'll have race-winning diecast. Plan B Sales was founded in 2010 as the leading as a distributor of Lionel Diecast as well as Chase Authentics Apparel, and they have grown drastically beyond that. Auto World, Green Light Collectibles, Brand Art, University of Racing Lines, Sam Bass's artwork, they have it all. They have a huge inventory, and as I mentioned, Erin, they're partners in sprint cars and in NASCAR racing with a lot of our heroes.
They are. They're partners with Kyle Larson, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Christopher Bell, and many other drivers. And right now, if you use the promo code MRN, you get free shipping on purchases over $20.
Great stuff, and kudos to our friends at Plan B. I know Brent and LaDonna, they have been so excited with Gregson getting that win, and then they had a modified guy got the win, but Larson getting a win for him was really big as well. So fun stuff to see our partners enjoying success as well. We need to step away. When we come back, we're going to talk about the man from Mifflintown.
Power isn't born, it's built over time. For over 65 years, Hercules Tires has been providing the muscle to move more drivers. Whatever the vehicle, whatever the terrain, and we back it with a powerful protection plan. So wherever the road or the trail takes you, we have the selection, value, and strength to get you there. Hercules Tires. Ride on our strength.
Pride.
Passion. Performance. We are Team Dryden.
Welcome back. It is Wing Nation, presented by Hercules Tires here, talking sprint car racing. The auto industry is the backbone of America's economy, and Ford chooses to invest more in America because of the rich heritage here. The Blue Oval employs more U.S. hourly workers and assembles more vehicles in America than any other automotive manufacturer, and they do it by a wide margin.
They do, whether it's a Ford dealer in Kentucky or a technician in Indiana or an engineer in Michigan. We're proud to have them as part of the team. Ford is built for America.
One of the great parts about sprint car racing that we love to talk about is our birthday calendar, the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame and Museum, located turn number 2 in Knoxville. Bob Baker, the executive director, going to join us on our podcast, by the way, later this week. So birthday's coming up. Okay, we got Dwayne Poncho Carter. We got Earl Padgett. We've got Lee Elkins, Sam Hoffman. Today, Chuck Merrill. But today, Erin, is the birthday of the man from Mifflintown, a 2004 inductee, Keith Kaufman. Did you ever get to race against Keith Kaufman?
I did. I got to race with him a bit before he retired.
What a legend. Port Royal, 129 wins, 13-time track champion. Williams Grove, 51 wins, a 2-time track champion. But Erin, here's the thing that I love about Keith. Okay, he is a Hall of Famer. He has hung up the helmet, and he could walk away from this sport and be a Hall of Famer. Keith Kaufman is one of the volunteers that continues to work all the time at Port Royal. And I said volunteer, by the way.
Yeah.
And I had a chance. We had a rain delay during the Weichert Memorial a couple years ago, and just through me being dumb lucky in the right spot at the right time, trying to find a suite with cold beer in it. Okay, that's what I was doing. I walk into a suite at Port Royal, and there's one guy sitting in there, and it's Keith Kaufman, and he had cold beer. And I'll bet you, Erin, I had 30 minutes with the man from Mifflintown, and we just talked about the track, the weather, the this, the that, and the other thing. It was one of those moments that it's like, I look around and say, wait a minute, I'm knocking stuff off my shelf again. I'm like, what? I'll be honest with you. I think, okay, something's going on here. Okay, I want to get back to the man from Mifflintown, okay? Last week I walked in here and it was laying flat out, and I said I'm going to leave it laying flat out so it doesn't fall down during the show. I think the cleaning crew is setting stuff back up and setting me up for failure. I think they're doing that. That's what I think is happening.
No, let's just blame it on them.
Blame it on them, yes. Yeah. Those of you listening, all the wall stuff on the back just fell out of my office chair. Those of you Zooming with us, you may have seen it. So, yeah. So, but I had the opportunity there at Port Royal to hang out with Keith Kaufman for 30 minutes, and his passion for the sport is amazing. Port looks great as they get to open up this weekend, and a lot of that handiwork is Keith Kaufman. It's amazing to see his passion for the sport continue today as a volunteer at a racetrack.
That is amazing. I mean, you talk about passion, but what a legend, 129 wins at Port Royal. And I happen to think he's got one of the better nicknames out there. The man from Mifflintown has always been one of my favorites.
It really is. And the beauty of it is there are a lot of people we can call, there are multiple people who are called the king in various genres, okay? We call everybody dude. Okay, we can call everybody this, that, or the other thing, but there's only one man from Mifflintown, and so I agree. It is a unique name and part of a great legacy. That is for sure. Kathy actually volunteers at the track. She sells souvenirs in one of the souvenir stands. I mean, they are such great people. Really, really neat. So happy birthday, man from Mifflintown, and wishing you the best here on your birthday. Although he's probably working because Port Royal opens up this week. You know, the Knoxville Nationals is coming up, and the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame and Museum, they have second floor seating for the Nationals. So you can call Bob Baker for that. And I know things are changing, Erin, but the simulation is really big, and the Sprint Car Hall of Fame is doing a simulator Nationals as well.
They are at the Hall of Fame during the 60th annual Knoxville Nationals. They're having features that you can win purses, prizes, and all sorts of good items. It's August 12th through the 15th at the Emmett J. Malloy Pavilion, which is underneath the Brian Clausen Suite Tower. Great stuff. So you can find out at Sprint Car Hall of Fame, sprintcarhof.com. And again, Bob Baker going to join us on our podcast this week. So there you have it. How about that? Stuart Brubaker and Lance Dewease getting wins and breaking it down here. Good conversation with both those guys on Wing Nation. It really was. I mean, I always enjoy talking to Lance. I love his analytical mind. I love that he's never content, no matter how many times he wins or how good the car. You win by 5 seconds, you still complain. And then Stuart's just a great story, an independent team getting a win at Attica opening night. Nice stuff. Nice stuff, that's for sure. Bob Baker going to join us on our podcast coming up on Thursday on Wing Nation, presented by Sage Fruit on MAV TV. We're going to take a look back at a visit with Shane Carson, another one of our favorite people, so you want to catch us on MAV TV. We're active and busy on our Facebook page, on our Facebook group, on our Twitter page at Wing Nation, and great collection of past shows at our YouTube page as well. Again, big thanks to Lance Dewease and to Stuart Brubaker for joining us. More important than all of that, though, thank you for joining us here on Wing Nation, presented by Hercules Tires.
Wing Nation has been brought to you by Hercules Tires. Ride on our string. Watch Wing Nation Saturday mornings on MAV TV. You can also find Wing Nation on wingnation.com or your favorite podcast provider. Wing Nation is a production of the Motor Racing Network. All rights reserved.